Everybody, it is episode 334.
Today we're going over summer's natural first aid kit. Everybody, welcome back to the Prime Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Skip Wyss, and as always, I have the beautiful, wonderfully cheated out Dr. Julie Wyss with us today. I love this topic, Dr. Julie, because this is your wheelhouse, your forte. You love going over natural remedies with our parents, from anything from cut and wound care to sunburn care, to how we take care of the skin with like acne, but not putting tons of medication. And I'm going to start off right away. We are not giving medical advice. We are not giving healthcare advice where we're making recommendations where you have to go and do this, but we are going to give you suggestions. So take that as you may.
When I find this as like that we have to say natural, like natural healthcare or like natural ways that we're doing things, which should just really be the normal ways
normal
of how we're supposed to be doing things. And I guess I never thought of anything. I mean, growing up, I never really got sick, like things didn't really happen. And so medicine and medication, that wasn't really a thing that I was familiar with.
Right.
And so I guess like when it came to raising our kids and our family, it was just kind of, well, we have to figure something out, or if something happened, like what are we going to do?
Yeah, and obviously in emergency situations, like you fall and break something, have a massive gash that's not clotting and healing up, and you like there's certain medical interventions that need to happen, and you need to go into the medical doctor, but I wasn't that way either, even though I was in the emergency room a lot when I was little because I was hurt a lot, from broken toes to getting head with a baseball bat to all sorts of stuff, but not run there all the time. And this overutilization of that field is not okay because it's led to a lot of people being sick, but also it has its place. But
Absolutely.
We survived for centuries as a human race without medicine trying to, that aspect of things.
And that, like when I think back to it, I'm like, well, what did they do back in the 1900s? What did they use in the 1800s?
We survived that way naturally all the time.
So there has to be something in nature, in the ground, off of our trees, our plants that we are growing, or unknowingly that we're killing, that we don't have these antiseptics or these salves that we can put on our skin. But like all of this stuff is all around us. We just need to realize, that weed, that the purslane that we keep pulling out of our cracks is actually good for us.
Purslane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a little, work to figure out, okay, how am I going to use this? Is it a tonic? Is it a tincture? Do I have, and it takes some time to make the thing. But that's also where family gets to come together and make that thing together and understand that, well, God made these things for us to be able to use them. We get to make the thing together as a family. And then when something happens, we have it right here, in our healthy medicine cabinet.
Yeah. So when we're talking about nature's first aid kit for the summer, the biggest thing right away is prevention. So how do we prevent these little things from happening that we don't need the first aid in the first place? I'm going to come out and tell you right away, if we're trying to prevent falls, slips, things like that, scrapes, we need our kids to work on their balance. Chiropractic is at the core of that. The neurology of the body is what keeps you upright. And if you're falling over all the time, your kid's not communicating like they're supposed to. Their balance is off. Their brain's not communicating to the body. That's the first thing that you need to do for prevention that works best, is get your kids checked by a chiropractor and make sure their nervous systems are communicating like they're supposed to. Therefore, their balance is great. That's the key. This
is the perfect, for adults, right? It as a sobriety test, but get a balance beam, use the chalk outside and see how well that you can walk the white line, right? But then close your eyes and do it, and do it as a family. And I'm sure there's going to be giggles that's going to come out of like, oh my gosh, you failed that. But for us, that is serious, right? Yeah. That means that, okay, if we shut off that one center of your brain can't figure out where you are in time and space. That's serious.
Yep.
Like that's a huge problem. And so that's what we focus on and making sure that those two connections are together. But do that together as a family tonight. Draw the chalk line and see who can do that.
So if you want to prevent those falls, get that balance check. Yeah. So one of the number one injuries in kids that we see, especially in this office, especially when summer rolls around, is scraped up knees. Scraped up knees, scrapes everywhere, little cuts all over the place. And immediately moms and dads will run for certain things. Back when we were kids, you'd run for the Bactine and spray the area, right? And get the burn to stop and clean it. And that necessarily isn't the best practice. There are other things that you can naturally do to help the child right away. Number one, hydrogen peroxide to clean the cut with a little bit of distilled water or bottled water. That'll actually clean the area up, and they might wince a little.
Yeah, but it doesn't hurt as much as you think that it's going to hurt.
Alcohol
usually,
hurts.
as the parent, we think it's going to hurt, and so we're like the squirmy ones. Meanwhile, our kids take it like a champ.
Yeah, alcohol hurts. Rubbing alcohol hurts. Yeah. Like if you've ever had your blood taken and the rubbing alcohol isn't dry and they jab you.
That's what hurts.
That freaking stings. Like I hate getting my blood drawn, and that's one of the reasons why. But hydrogen peroxide doesn't. That will clean a wound out really well. It'll bubble a little bit, and you can dilute that out. And then after that, after wound care is extremely important. Do you want to talk about plantain salve?
Yeah, so I was going to say we would use plantain salve. And so I think lots of times it's great for that cut or that scrape to be open to the air. But if we're going to be back outside, we need to put some plantain salve, plantain salve over the wound, and then put a Band-Aid over it while we're outside playing. That's going to keep the area clean. It's a natural antiseptic. It's going to just really protect that area. And then ideally at nighttime, right, if we're sleeping in beds, to have that open area, if it's not bleeding, if it's not oozing, to have it open to the air. That will help that healing process as well. And then just need to repeat it again that next morning if we need to recover it with the plantain salve.
Yeah, and that will keep it all clean. It's something that we generally have people bring it to us. They make it. You'll be able to find it at your farmers markets. You're going to find it at the ladies' tent that generally's got some stuff hanging up from the ceiling a little bit. There's probably 6 or 7 dream catchers there. But she's the one that's handling it.
And plantains are coming from those plantains, the banana, the plantain.
Yep, and that stuff is awesome. Made well, just really takes care of things. Now, let's jump into how we take care of those wounds. Obviously, if it was a bad wound, take them into the MD. If they need to get a stitch, if something's really gashed open.
The oozing coming out of the wound is great. The concern would be... Yep, that's it, putting that new barrier, that new skin layer over the top. But if we start to see some red streaky lines coming out from that, if the child or yourself, like if you spike a fever or something, then that's when hot. That's when you need to then go in and get checked.
Yeah,
we never want something to turn septic, or maybe it's a little bit deeper. Maybe there's something still stuck in the wound that needs to actually get removed. But usually for like the simple cuts and scrapes, plantain salve works great.
Let's talk bug spray.
Yeah.
Okay, so generally these little things this time of year, mosquitoes, they go bonkers. And especially when you've had a summer like we have up here in Wisconsin where it's been wet and hot, they breed like bunnies. And there's mosquitoes everywhere, and there's the size of pterodactyls. They should be in Jurassic Park. But those little buggers bite the heck out of kids. And then we get these swellings, we get these histamine reactions, and you can go to CVS and Walgreens, and there are remedies, an entire aisle of remedies for mosquito bites. And one of the biggest ones that you see is these itch sticks. And they're usually some form of anti-inflammatory cream or like a gel that tries to get your kid from stop itching that area. But like we said, prevention first. So Dr. Julie, you've made natural bug spray before, and it's extremely effective. What is that all about?
So the recipe is actually from back, I don't know, like the Black Plague
era.
When I mean, when they needed to ward off those things. So it's one of those things. Come wintertime, you want to start making it.
Oh, so it takes time to make.
So it does take some.
Okay.
It does take some time, but apple cider vinegar, and then you have all of your herbs and things in there, and that is your tonic. And then you really just take tablespoon of that into your spray bottle, and then you can add vinegar to that. So you are going to smell like your kid. Brecken would always wear it at the wildlife sanctuary, but he never had a single mosquito bite.
Oh, he smelled like the oregano bread.
But after after the first couple weeks, all the parents were like, "Well, can you spray down my kids too? Because we're using off and the bug repellent, and we're getting bites all over." And so it was the apple cider vinegar, oregano, just all of these different herbs that's in it. And that's what bugs don't like. It'd be the same thing that if you would plant sage and lavender and oregano, like we have that around like our pool and like your sitting area outside, that will help to keep the mosquitoes away as well. They don't like that scent.
Lavender will keep mosquitoes away, but it will attract honeybees. Bees love lavender, not hornets. Like those are hornets are hornets are like mosquitoes. I don't get it. I don't know why they're still around. They kill honeybees, but honeybees love lavender. So they will show up if you have lavender, but don't worry, they're workers. They're not going to hurt you. They're going to be good for your environment. They're good for everything. They're really good pollinators, like you're supporting it, but that lavender is awesome. And when you make this natural bug spray, it's so run me through it. Is it apple cider vinegar, oregano? You have like thyme in there. Yep. There's like rosemary. It's like you're making an Italian pizza, but then it just sits there and ferments, right?
Yeah, it ferments for like. So if
there was like a stick in there at one point. I don't know what that was. I think that was rosemary.
Yep. So rosemary, thyme, oregano, apple cider vinegar. I think I threw in some essential oils in there as well. But really, it's just to get that really good tincture, that base. And then we're just using a little bit of it with additional apple cider vinegar and some just regular vinegar to fill up in the bottle.
So what is your thought on these really good smelling products that like citronella oils, things like that? That yes, we can wear those to smell good. But yeah, those essential oils have some really good, powerful helps.
They do, and I think sometimes, I mean, you can light the candles, but I know like they have. The concern is that when we use some of those sprays, there's the other stuff that the molecules have to attach to for it to land on your skin, and so our skin is super absorbent, right? It's like we're paper towels, right? So our skin is just going to soak it up. And so the concern is when we use some of those commercial products, like what else is leaching into our bodies? So there are some of the citronella bracelets that work really well. Sometimes it's keeping your body cooler than everybody else because mosquitoes, they do like that heat. Like if you can see some thermography studies, but mosquitoes are, they're attracted to the heat, to the warmth. Layers of clothes are always going to be ideal as well. But even if you could like attach some of the little personal fans, sometimes if you have those blowing around in your area, that will also help to keep the mosquitoes away.
And I'm telling you right now, use the dryer sheets that you have at your house in the laundry room. Those specific brands that are out there that start with a B and a T.
Like that's the only time we buy dryer sheets.
And you hang them on the back of your kids' shorts with a clothespin, and they will keep stuff away like you wouldn't believe. Do not dry your clothes with them. Get wool balls. Use those.
But that's right. Isn't that concerning that we attach that dryer sheet
super hard
to our
chemicals
kids,
in dryer sheets,
and it keeps the bugs away, but yet we want to dry our clothes with those
and have that on your skin.
Smell them.
So like I said, you clip it to the back of their shorts so it's not touching.
We always put them over like the back pocket of the shorts, just so it's hanging on.
So
there.
now if the littles get bit, what do you recommend to help decrease that itchiness and then decrease the swelling? We find tea tree oil works great.
Yep, I would say tea tree oil, apple cider vinegar really works really well. I'm sure the pickle conversation hasn't come up yet.
It's coming.
It's coming. But I know, and I can't think of it right now, but I know that there is this this apparatus type of a thing.
Thing?
Yeah, the sucker thing. I don't know that we've used it personally, but I've heard really great things about that. So it would be another natural way. But really kind of the apple cider vinegar, and usually if you can get by, if it's little ones, cutting their fingernails or keeping the area covered if it's on their feet,
so
ankles,
itch the crap out
put
of
the
it.
socks on. Usually if you can go without itching it for a day and a half, it'll usually be gone. The concern is some of our kiddos now have such huge histamine reactions, which lets us know, like, okay, there's something going on with the gut. The body isn't processing things how it needs to. Again, chiropractic to get everything rolling how it needs to. But the more that we can keep those areas covered up will help with that histamine reaction. The apple cider vinegar on there will help to cool that area as well.
Because kids they're notorious to get bit and they swell, especially in their faces. And parents will come in, particularly in our office, and say, yeah, so-and-so was bit by the mosquitoes this weekend. They've got a lot of swelling. That's why they're swelled up. But we'll have that conversation then. Okay, why are they not handling that bite and that histamine reaction? Because mosquitoes aren't getting like geoengineered that we know of. And that they're like, this isn't the issue. So why is all of a sudden my kid get bit, doesn't have a thing, your kid gets bit and they swell up? So there's something going on with that GI and that stomach and that liver and that histamine reaction, like that actual antibiotic reaction in the body. The antibody reaction is causing that swelling. So the body's rejecting it. And it should be able to handle it. It should be able to compensate and adapt to the environment and not just break itself down and cause problems. And even just so you know, like even when your kid's 14, they're still going to scratch these things. Brecken Houndy had a big scratch on the back of his leg last night when he was going to bed. I'm like, what is that? He's like, I had so many mosquito bites, Dad, that I just had to itch these. And I'm like, okay. And it happens. He went camping without any of our gear. And he went camping and he just went and did his thing and got bit up because he was fishing.
But it didn't welt up.
It didn't welt up. Nope, but just a little itchy. Yeah. So tea tree oil. And now let's talk about some sun work, because typically the other things that we get in this time of year especially is sunburns.
Sunburns.
Heavy sunburns, too much sun exposure. I never thought I'd say that on here. But yes, if you get burnt by the sun, you've been in the sun a little bit too long, you baked a little long. In fact, if you all need to know the actual number, it takes 15 minutes in the sun to get a melanin reaction. 15 minutes, that's it. With nothing on your skin, 15 minutes in the sun, you'll get a melanin reaction, which means you'll start to tan, you'll get your skin to change. But guess what? 20 minutes of sun exposure gets you the amount of vitamin D you need for that day. And it doesn't mean then that you need to go and cover your skin in carcinogenic products to keep the sun away from you. There are natural ways to keep you from getting sunburned.
Right. And usually, again, like you look at the aerosols and the different lotions, there's so many other things in there that's not necessary, but a lot of it is to keep it shelf stable, right? Yeah. So that's where, like, it's not a shameless plug, but we've been making our own sunscreen for years, and it's a really good supple mango base, and we're getting really good stuff for our skin, and it feels good. Vitamin E for skin rejuvenation. So if we do get a little bit of that pinkness, that redness, that vitamin E is going to help. But a really clean zinc, like the zinc oxide, is what puts the barrier then over your skin. But that, along with carrot seed oil, there's so many different, jojoba oil is in there, and it beefs up the protection.
You also use a beeswax.
Yep, we're just looking for that little bit of sun protection to back the sun's rays off. We're still going to be able to absorb some of that, but we're just looking for a little bit of that kind of that filter.
That's what I've noticed with it, is that it still feels like it lets stuff through, but I don't get burnt when I put it on my skin. And it's comfortable. Yeah, it'll wash off in the water. It's not waterproof. That's the other thing we need to think about too, is like, if we're putting stuff on our skin that's waterproof, like, how the hell does it come off?
Right.
Like, that's the thing.
And that's where it's got to be absorbed into your skin fully, which is then concerning, right? So then that's where we really need to start looking at the bottles. And sometimes it'll say, well, it doesn't have this, which is a carcinogen, but instead they use a byproduct of it, which can be worser than
if you look at your spray-on bottles and you see any ingredient on the back with an OL at the end of it, that's an alcohol-based ingredient. It doesn't matter. It's alcohol-based. And then also, if you see anything on there that looks like it starts with like any form of lighter fluid, they use that to help get things out of the can. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with nonstick pan spray. It's the same thing. They're using some sort of butane-based alcohol to get things out, and that's not good for your skin. It's not good for your food either. So these are the things that, remember, the skin is the largest organ in the body, and it's actually the most responsive. It is like a thermometer every day. Mm-hmm. You can look at your thermometer and know what's going on outside temperature-wise. You can look at your skin, and if you understand it, you can see what's going on internal to let you know what's actually happening on the outside of your world. So you can use that. Now, also, how do we treat these sunburns when they happen? Biggest thing that you can use is vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar, or the pickle
white
juice.
Vinegar, pickle juice. Drink a little pickle juice. That's become a rage, by the way. That has become a massive thing right now on the internet, inside Instagram, TikTok. All these influencers are talking about drinking pickle juice. They're putting pickle juice in all their martinis.
But do they understand why?
Nope. They just like the brininess of it. But what they don't understand is pickle juice has still got some yellows in it, but works great to fight. Works great to take the sting out of sunburns. Mm-hmm. White vinegar works excellent.
Yeah, use it that way. If the pickle juice, if it's a natural pickle juice, doesn't have all the dyes in it, right? Mm-hmm. Then we can talk about the electrolytes and the good salt that we're getting and the ferment from it. But if it's like I don't even want to say any of the pickle names, but if it has that gorgeous yellow color, then we need to be looking that there is some carcinogenic dyes in it. So we think that we're having something, a nice treat that we're helping our gut. It's actually doing the opposite.
That's why they're putting pickle juice in their martinis and stuff, is because what they were finding is that they weren't getting hungover as much. And it's because that pickle juice helped with hydration and electrolytes. And drinking just dehydrates your body and is really bad for you. Now, the other thing we can use is to help the skin in after sun care. So we use vinegar, we get the sting out. But then there are great things out there. Number one is aloe vera. Mm-hmm. Yep, an aloe vera plant. Yeah. Beautiful plant. Right?
Yep. I remember growing up, like my mom had it was this huge aloe vera plant, and it would, I think you're from Arizona, like it was the oldest plant ever. And whenever we would get sunburn, we would just break off a piece of it and we would just slather it on, and it would take care of the sun.
It's way better than the big green bottle you buy in the store that's got tons of chemicals in it. Looks like coolant you would put in your car, and that's supposedly aloe vera. And it's not the same as the plant.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, I guess I've never actually read the bottle. I'd have to maybe look before, I wouldn't buy it, but I'd look and see what it actually is, if it's even aloe vera in it, or if it's just the name on the bottle.
The juice and gel from aloe vera is really good for your gut, and two, really good for your skin, but you get so many phytonutrients from it, like actually feeds your skin. The other one, a little bit out of the box, but starting to become very popular, is beef tallow. Using tallow on your skin to help hydrate it, seems to be extremely effective. We've used it. Takes forever to absorb, so it's a fat-based product, and it goes onto your skin, but it takes a long time to absorb. But that seems to hydrate really, really well too, and help the skin out. Tallow is shown to be very wonderful. From cooking to skin help to all sorts of things.
Yeah, I think just keep that in mind if you're going to rub that on, that it's going to be on your skin for a while, and to not put, if you have like a nice top or like a shirt that you're putting on, it's going to absorb into that. So just understand before you use some of these things, understand, it's a really great healthy product, but it, can make your clothes maybe stain or a little dirty.
Remember, if you're using an oil and you're going out in the sun, like the sun can amplify that too, and you could actually get burnt quicker with that. Like tanning oils help you tan, kind of increase your melanin reaction a little bit faster. Tallow can do the same thing. Remember, you can use tallow to cook, and it actually has an incredibly great smoke point. It's great to cook with. But on your skin,
it's good for baking with.
It means it's good for baking with too, and it can respond to heat differently. And just be aware of that stuff. Be aware of it. So this has been Nature's Natural Remedies and natural what were we calling it?
Medicine cabinet.
Yeah, the medicine cabinet provided so your natural summer first aid kit. And we hope it helps you out. I hope you guys really, really love it. And do you have anything else today, Dr. Julie, to help naturally?
I don't, but I mean, if you're looking for more of these different things, if you head to the link in our bio, we have tons of different toolkits, tick remedies, all of those things will end up in our toolkits. So you can find those online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everybody go out there, get it done. Have a wonderful week. Bye, everyone.